What is going on, everybody? Xaenca here, back once again with another video just for you. Friendly reminder as always, if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Well, we only have 2 episodes left of Game of Thrones at this point, and I have not talked about the show on this channel yet at all. So I figured now is as good of a time as any to take a break from trolling the big bad Marvel fans and talk about some Game of Thrones. So I'm not gonna do the same approach as I've been doing in the last few videos. So no, I'm not gonna intentionally go out of my way to try to piss you off with this one. Even though it is funny as shit when I do. People take things way too seriously, man. But anyway, it's also going to be more of a rant video talking about random things about this season of Game of Thrones. A lot of fans are unhappy with season 8 of Game of Thrones, and unfortunately we're seeing just so many downs within this season so far. And a lot of it can probably be attributed to the showrunners running out of source material. They don't have novels to base the new episodes off of anymore. And then there's the whole 6 episodes thing that's making everything feel so goddamn rushed. Except of course for episodes 1 and 2 that they decided to make completely filler and exposition. So we get 2 full episodes dedicated to that, but we only get 1 episode dealing with the battle with the White Walkers. This looming threat to all of mankind that we've been building up for so long took 1 episode to resolve. Granted, they did make it like an hour-and-a-half episode or whatever, but still, it's just, I don't know, man, it's such a letdown. And throughout that episode, you know, dealing with the White Walkers, there was just so much rampant stupidity amongst the different characters. We saw one of the most common tropes in film and TV when it comes to killing a character off, especially in battle scenes like this or war scenes or anything like that. Like, oh, incompetent character falls on the ground. Competent character rushes to his aid, but oops, he dies for it. Talking about Sam and Ed, by the way, if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. But I guess, I don't know, I guess that works because before it even happened, I'm like, well, Ed's about to die. As soon as he was letting Sam up, I was like, well, he's dead. Which kind of contradicts the whole subverting your expectations that they're so renowned for. Or at this point, has it reached like a full-on subversion inception where it's like, we're so goddamn unpredictable. No one will ever predict how predictable we're going to be in this episode. You know what I mean? It's like, god damn it. And what were they doing with Daenerys' character in this episode? I mean, are they trying to write her to be a moron in this season or something? I don't understand. And what I'm talking about is like when she flies down to save Jon Snow, right? Riding Drogon, she lands to save Jon Snow from the White Walkers instead of like hovering above the ground so the White Walkers can't get to Drogon or her. But after she saves Jon, they have a chit chat and like there's no sense of urgency. The whole time I'm yelling at the screen like, fly away, like the fucking White Walkers are around you. I'm just like, fly away, what are you doing? And sure enough, the White Walkers attack Drogon. You're like, god damn it, is this like a really bad slasher film or something? Because that was slasher film level stupid. I guess we'll follow up with Daenerys when we talk about episode 4, but real quick, what was the deal with Jon Snow just turning around and yelling at Viserion? Was it like, well, nothing else has worked, maybe this will do something? You know what that reminded me of was a really old episode of South Park.
Well, we're coming up on 9 hours and the giant snake of South Park shows no signs of stopping. Residents have tried everything from fire hoses to yelling at it to make the snake stop, but nothing seems to work. Thanks, Creamy. Everything
from fire hoses to yelling at it to make the snake stop. That's what Jon Snow reminds me of. The Hound went back to his old ways of cowering from the fight, you know, and it's just like, man, it's getting old, dude, but at least there was a little bit of more subtext, I guess, with this one, which I don't even know if it's intentional, but basically when he's like, you can't kill the dead or you can't beat the dead, you know, there's also the fact that, you know, his older brother is also the dead, essentially now. And that's one of the things everybody's been waiting for, is the Hound to fight the Mountain, you know, and finally get his character arc fulfilled. So I guess in that regard, the line about the dead and him being terrified, you know, makes a little bit more sense. Which again, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's definitely a happy accident if they didn't intend it. Now they just have to deliver on it. I also didn't like Missandre's lack of urgency when she was asked to assist in lighting the barricade. Probably a little bit nitpicky there, but I was just like, why are you walking so slowly? Hurry up, please. Like, it's a serious situation. I'm not asking you to run because I know that would take away mystique from your character and everything, but walk faster, damn it. And I didn't like how dark episode 3 was, and I know that's the most common complaint about episode 3, but holy shit, it was too goddamn dark. And I'm trying to figure out like why they would do that. Like, Was the CGI done badly for the White Walkers or something? Because as they were coming at you really fast, you couldn't really tell anything about them because of how dark it was and how quickly they were flashing on the screen. But it's really difficult to find anything like that to chalk it up to, considering Game of Thrones has not really had any kind of budgeting issues. And I know certain directors, when dealing with things like that, like horror essentially is what it is, right? Because it's undead. And a lot of directors like using the darkness when it comes to horror things to make things feel uncomfortable, but that only works to a certain extent. It can't be that much of the episode is like shrouded in darkness. I know a lot of people are mad about the whole Arya Stark thing, and I mean, I don't know, I didn't hate it. In my opinion, it wasn't nearly as bad as people were making it out to be. I mean, a lot of people went and are even still going as far as calling Arya Stark a Mary Sue for it, and I'm like, I don't think she's a Mary Sue. I mean, she's struggled, she's had hardships in life, she's learned from them. Now, whether or not you think the hardships themselves or the training involved into getting her where she is now was badly written is a different topic entirely. But just the fact that they exist contradict the whole Mary Sue thing as it is. And I like Arya Stark. I think her avenging the Red Wedding was one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. Ironically, so is the Red Wedding. So it's like the beginning and end of that are some of my favorite scenes. Also, when she no hesitation sliced Littlefinger's throat, you know, in that whole trial thing. I don't know. Point is, I like the character. I do understand why people are upset. It should have been Jon Snow, and even Maisie Williams, the actress that plays Arya Stark, claimed that during the table read for the episode, she was iffy about the whole Arya Stark killing the Night King thing because she knew it would upset a lot of fans. With that being said, it happened. It is what it is. You know, it didn't end up being Jon Snow to end the Night King, which would have been my first choice, but then again, like I said, the Arya Stark thing is not nearly as bad as people are making it out to be. What is, however, is that you went with this choice with Arya Stark, and we're now gonna jump into episode 4 because you went with this choice in Arya Stark and you had her essentially end the Night King, be the hero of humanity, right? But other than Daenerys calling out, oh, Arya Stark, the hero of Winterfell, once during the celebration, people are not making nearly as big of a deal about that as they should be. Like, if not for her, you'd all probably be dead and Westeros would be fucked, but, you know, ain't that big of a deal, I guess. Because as soon as she stabbed that Night King, I was like, well, fuck your bloodline. She has a much, much bigger claim to the throne than any of y'all now. Because not only did she save the North, Westeros, and all of that business, she saved the entire planet. Because before they were saying, oh, the White Walkers cannot travel by water. But guess what? The Night King had the goddamn dragon. So he could have flown other places, killed people, created another army there, and just like taken over the world, essentially. From what we saw with the whole Gendry Lord Lady thing, she doesn't really want any of that, but then again, the point they're making it out to be is it doesn't really matter what you want, you know, it's what the people want. And that's what I'm saying, like, why are the people so seemingly unimpressed with what she did? I don't know. Moving on. Let's gloss over the Jaime and Brienne thing real quick. It's just, they built chemistry between the two over the seasons, and you already knew where it was going early on when Jaime's like enamored by, you know, giant woman, and vice versa. And in episode 4 they finally get it on, and that's not what I have an issue with. It's that you built up to this just so Jaime can run away from her and back to Cersei. And Brienne's been a competent character. I don't have anything against the character, so I don't think her character necessarily deserved that, but whatever. Now, I wanted to dropkick Jon Snow in the goddamn face when he didn't say goodbye to Ghost. A lot of you might not know, but I have a very big soft spot for animals. No, I'm not vegan, it's not like that level or PETA level or anything like that, but I do have a big soft spot for animals. And Ghost has been so good to Jon Snow. It's just, god damn it, man. Kept by your side, kept you safe when he could, and kept by you when you were dead. Just charged relentlessly and got bloodied up in a battle against the undead for you. And you can't even say goodbye to him? No pat on the face, no hug or anything? I understand he'll probably be safer and happier up north, but say goodbye, goddammit. What is wrong with you? I mean, what a fucking asshole. Now, continuing off the earlier Daenerys discussion, because, like I said, I don't know if they're trying to write her as a moron in this season, but she's definitely coming across as one, or just a terrible mother, depends on how you want to look at it. But she calls the dragons her children, but proceeds to lose another goddamn dragon in episode 4. Now, this would be fine if you never experienced your dragons being attacked while they're flying, but it's happened twice now. Arguably, the Viserion thing was unavoidable. You could not have predicted that the White Walkers could throw an ice spear like that, because it was just like, oh my god. But you've already had Drogon get hit with this massive ass crossbow by Bronn. But after experiencing these things, what compelled you to believe that Cersei would not employ any such means to deal with Rhaegal the way that Rhaegal was dealt with? And like I said, with the prior circumstances, did the safety of your dragons never come into your mind as their mother? Because as we brought up earlier in episode 3, you let Drogon get attacked by White Walkers unnecessarily. No scouting was done, no reconnaissance at all, but yeah, let's put on an air show outside of King's Landing. I'm sorry, but that was dumb as shit. And how far away do you have to be to send fireballs raining down from Drogon? Because once you dodge the attacks coming your way, could you not have attacked the ships? And how did the Iron Fleet capture Missandei through all of that madness that happened there, sinking the ships and everybody's just like floating in chaos and all of that? You captured Missandei specifically somehow. Probably nitpicking there, but it's just oddly specific to have captured her amidst all of that. That ending scene did not make sense. I mean, if I were Cersei, I looked out and that's Daenerys' army. I mean, send the troops out and wipe them out. That's all they got. They had a ton of those giant crossbows, so they could have just aimed at Drogon and ended him right then and there, and then they don't have any real threats to worry about. Then we have the whole Tyrion thing falling into the same problem over and over again, hoping that this time will be the time that Cersei does not show that she's a monster. And then she shows she is, and then Tyrion's surprised for some reason, and it's just, man, at some point you have to learn, right? The whole shame on you, shame on me thing. And Tyrion's still probably my favorite character despite that. Goddamn, man, like, at some point, you gotta get into that fool me once, fool me twice mindset, that's all I'm saying. But that's all I got for this one. Just wanted to talk about it a little bit before the show finally ends, because it's coming and it's coming quick. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button and share it with your friends, family, whoever you think would be interested in nonsense like this. And subscribe, ring that notification bell, and click that always so you can always be alerted every time I put out another one of these chicken Caesar salads. Lots of chicken lately. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.